Welcome back, friend. We are moving through the integration channel. The integration channel is strictly about the backbone of humanity, or being a human. Sorry, not humanity, about being human. This is the frequency of how we can survive on this material plane. Because this isn't the materialism. This is self-empowerment. And literally, when we can get out of our own way and be the conduit, this tells us, the integration tells us how to be the conduit for our own frequency, for the neutrino stream, and to completely have a life with non-interference. So the 3420, this channel of charisma, designed where thoughts must be deeds. Now, of course, you're going to say, what are you talking about thoughts? And we're going to talk about that because what the 3420 requires, the 3420 requires the 4323 as a guide. Now, I'll explain it as I walk through here. So that's the thoughts piece of it. And this 3420 that moves us so I just quickly popped out and put the images in here. So the 3420 that moves us from the sacral up to the throat. So this is a pure manifesting generator. And the pure manifesting generator, what happens here is that they are busy now. There is activity. The theme is active in the now. I am active. But prior to the activity, the response must come prior to the action. So a design where thoughts must become deeds. The thoughts are going to happen through the guidance of the 4323. And the significance here is that the 4323 is structuring its efficiency. So it brings an efficiency to and an awareness to this activity that is going to happen here in this energy field. Without the 57 present, there is no awareness for the 3420. So that is why they need to have that 4323 as a guide to their activity. So pure manifesting generator, the only true example of the manifesting generator connecting the throat's potential for manifestation to the sacral's generative force. Always have response first. It's about individuality, but here we are again in the integration channel. This is about self-empowerment. This is hearing. It's acoustic. It's an opposite-based definition. So if it's in the sun, earth, or in the nodes, the 34 is opposite the 20 is opposite the 34 in the wheel, as you can see here. And because of that, it creates a definition. So, guided by the 4323, and this is an essential cross-channel relationship of humanity. The third opposition is 3740. These are the fundamental building blocks of humanity. We need to get shit done. We need to get stuff done. We need to be able to work. And from there, we need to be able to structure it efficiently. And we also are here to have community. So when we look at the 34 and the 20 is in the quarter of form. This is civilization. Every one of the throat gates reside down here because the throat gates are building civilization. And the 34 is in that mutative energy. So this is bringing in transformation. This is bringing in mutation. All individual energy when allowed to, be creative and be in that muse, we are the conduits for the mutative energy to happen on this planet. And again, I have asked this in other videos. If you guys know of anybody who doesn't have any individual gates or any individual channels, I'd love to see that design and have a conversation with that person to see how their mutation from other people show up for them. So this is an asexual gate or channel. Ra called it the Great Masturbator. They'll do it on their own. They're busy being an engine. I can't talk, I'm busy. Available or not, this is a life force. So always, what is response? Response comes from the sacral energy. Now, we are all designed to have response in our lives one way or the other. And I've discussed this in other videos. Our manifestors, they are responding to what they see or what they're experiencing through interactions with other people. And they are, here to inform what they're going to create based off of a response of what they see. The advisor, they are, there's a response to guidance, and then, they see somebody who needs guidance. Then they, wait for the invitation. The evaluator, they are responding to all the stuff that's happening on our planet so that they can evaluate. Now, that's not their strategy, but everybody on this planet is based in response, because when you have integration, when you have centering, when you have individuality, the sacral center is defined in all of that energy. Okay? When you have the collective, it's defined. When you have the tribe, it's defined. So the life force on this planet, doesn't matter what type you are, what circuitry you have, response is the core base essence of life. So this is in the integration channel. This energy is not for anyone else. The business is for themselves. This is not going to stop, being busy and care about you. It just can't. Everybody wants this energy and they want to enslave it. There is a ginormous amount of power here. Ginormous. Everybody wants this energy and they want to enslave it. These people are the great slaves on our planet. Now, I have this in my design. It is my design nodes. I know this energy so well. I so know when people are jealous of it, that they want it. They want to enslave it. They're like, come work for me. Come work for me. I haven't been in the workforce in many, many years. And people are always wanting me to work for them. If these people are not busy doing what they love, they feel like they are going to die. This is so true. Even when I'm doing downtime, I'm doing something. I know it sounds so counterintuitive to what, to what the world wants to see. But when I am doing something that I love human design. I love farming. I love my animals. I love to put my hands in the dirt. I love to be in nature. The time literally can stand still. And there is so much that can get done. So now, ideally, because charisma is not pure generative force, it is here to respond with action in the now. response is the key for charisma. So if, we just look at the definition of a manifester, it's the throat connected to a motor, except for the sacral. So there are both energies here. This has manifester energy and it has generative energy. So there is a dichotomy of everybody but the manifestors are taught to manifest. We're all taught at a very early age to be a manifester. Well, this energy will grab it and run with it and try to force life, completely disregarding the response. But the whole key to charisma is response and then action. So without the 10, one is not busy for oneself. And without the 57, one's actions in the now are not being guided with awareness and intuition. One is simply running around in the now. Now, when I say this, people that just have the 5720, the 3420, I have witnessed this in their lives. They can be totally busy and nothing can get done. Now, I'm also going to tell you that there have been times in my life where I had put in a full day of work and I'm like, why did I do all that? Now, when my husband is available and around and at the farm and in my energy field, he has a 4323. Just him having that energy around me. Words don't even need to be spoken. I have a totally open head center. I have a totally open ajna center. I am grasping his thoughts. And then I literally can bring those thoughts right into manifestation. He's a manifester. He is a manifester. But the action that happens through me, I honestly can't even really explain it. But manifestation, he can be thinking about things for 2 years. And all of a sudden, poof, he'll say one thing or he'll show up with that thought in my energy. It just happens. Like the manifestation of it just takes place. It's difficult to even give you examples because it happens so quickly. But as I walk you through and we walk through coaching sessions with this particular energy, I know that other people will be able to pull that out of me. So a design where thoughts must become deeds. Well, there is no awareness and no mind directly connected to this channel. The 3420 is to be guided by the 4323. This is one of the most essential and important cross-channel relationships that exist in the human design system. Structuring with its capacity for individual insight and the ability to structure things efficiently provides efficient guidelines for the manifesting generator capacity of the 3420. Please recognize that guidance is needed. Even when no 4323 is around, the guidance is a matter of simply being ready to wait, to respond, and in that response, finding efficient and perfected action in the now. I think that in many of my YouTube videos, and here I've also spoken about it, there literally is more than enough examples in my life where I have absolutely no knowing. I do not know why, but my physical body will move me to places. It will put me into environments. My mind will say things like, oh, I'm never going to do this, or oh, I will never be there, or oh, I'm never going to do that. And I find myself in those places, and I have the most profound experiences. So for example, one that just comes to mind as I'm speaking right now is I was in business school, and I graduated business school. And while I was in business school, I remember this is like it just happened like 3 seconds ago. I was driving down the main street of the city that I live in, and there was a financial institution there. And I'm like, I do not ever want to work in a bank. I remember that conversation. My mind said it out loud. I was all by myself in my vehicle. I was just driving down the road. And lo and behold, that's what was said out of my mind. And no kidding. Like days later, that exact same bank, one of the employees of that bank, what I was doing is I was actually working as a cashier at my neighborhood gas bar from 5 a.m. until 8 a.m. And then I would go to school from 9 to 5. So I was a gas attendant, or what, cashier, whatever you want to call it, because it was all self-fill. This lady come to me like 3 days after I heard myself say that. And she's like, I am an employee at such and such bank. Can you please bring down a resume? I think we should hire you. And I'm like, what the heck? So, lo and behold, I drop off a resume, and I didn't even make it home. And after the interview, I didn't even make it home, and they were already leaving a message on my voicemail to offer me the position. I was still in school, so I was working very, very, very part-time. I think I've chatted to you guys about this before. But had I listened to my mind, I would have poo-pooed that whole thing. I just followed my body. I had no idea about human design. I just let it all happen. I worked there for 10 years. I made very good money. I got very good experience, and I had profound relationships with people. I still have those relationships. I could phone any one of them right now and go for coffee and feel like we hadn't skipped a beat. So these are the kind of things that I recognize with this in my design. It moves me. It is so charismatic that when I literally am in a non-interference energy field, when my mind is not telling me what I should, could, never, would be doing, and the body just operates and moves, I just let it do it. And this channel will move people, will literally move your Meatsuit. So this is a pure energy in the body that is transformed and processed through the thyroid and parathyroid. The motor of the sacral wants to run and be in a metamorphic state. It is never about being busy. It's never about not being busy. It is about being asked to engage. Once asked, they can be very charismatic. Whatever they throw their energy at can be very exciting. So I have the 3420, and when we get to the tribal energy, I also have the 2145. So let's just read this next paragraph before I talk to you about this. So we are all conditioned to be manifestors from birth, which I just explained. Except, of course, for the manifestors, and those manifestors are conditioned to be generators. There are only 4 channels in the human design system that are designed to actually get things done. The 3420, the 2145, the 2212, and the 3635. Those are the pure manifesting generator channel and the 3 manifesting channels. Okay? So there are 2 types of manifesting. Proper manifesting that has a benefit to society, or chaotic manifesting that is very destructive. So these people can have a deep impact on others and can be in awe of their charisma. So here's what I'll tell you. Gosh, it was quite a few years ago now. My brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their 2 girls come for a visit at the farm. And it was, I can't remember, must have been late August because we were done haying. And what was taking place was, at the moment, I was, we were just sitting on the deck, and I was cooking supper. There was a lame bull in the field that needed to be brought home. My godson needed to be picked up from football because he was staying with us for the night. And there was something else that was going on. But anyways, we were sitting on the deck, and all of a sudden, all of these things took place very, very simultaneously. And my physical body moved through this whole thing. Like, it just moved through it. It got all of this stuff done. And my sister-in-law was like, whoa. So I come in the house after getting all this other stuff done. We set the table, we ate, we did dishes, put away food, and she just looked at me and she's like, I cannot believe that you just did all of those things. And she could barely move off the deck because she was just witnessing the profound energy of my design. And the 3420 for me in my design, it's in the nodes, it's in the design nodes, and it is a left-oriented variable, which means I'm designed to be observed. So people are designed to observe my charisma. And the 2145, this manifesting energy, I make an impact with my actions. I make an impact with my voice. And I can move. I can make things move. I can get things done like nobody else. So, these are the 4 channels that are here to get things done. I could do copious amounts of work. So if you have this energy, or people with this energy, witness them. Are they actually using this correctly? For me, if I am not utilizing the energy in my design at some way, shape, form, type in a day, it's just not right. There's something not right. So I just wanted to share that with you. So this channel is both anger and frustration within its themes because it has that manifestor energy plus the responsive energy. So people with this channel could go from periods of being very angry to periods of being very frustrated. The individual pulse of the individual circuitry that goes from, this on to this off will pulse from anger to frustration. So the key is to always wait to respond. Wait for your energy to be requested. That is so critical. I'm building out this program, and it was an idea. And I put it out there to the people in my tribe. And it was an idea. And the idea did not actually formulate until somebody requested the energy. And within a period of 4 days, I had the initial information built out. It felt like it took me 5 minutes to do. And I got copious amounts of stuff done. But the minute somebody requests this frequency, watch it move. It is profound. It's profound. It is profound for me anyways. So I want you to talk to me, tell me about what is your experience of this. So without the 57, again, there's no awareness. So you may not know why you are busy, but if you have engaged with that task from response, there is no other channel as powerful as charisma when it operates correctly. This is a design about caring for oneself. This is the perfectly individuated force, and it can get very melancholic when it doesn't know what the hell to do. And because of this, most people that have this channel become very dysfunctional as they reason away their melancholy by becoming a quote-unquote busy person with zero correctness in their movement. They're just busy for busy's sake. Now, this channel is designed to be active. It is designed to be busy. We are designed to be busy people, but we are designed to use that energy charismatically through guidance. So to be a pure manifesting generator is something that without guidance makes caring for oneself become totally distorted. This is integration, remember, you guys. If you don't survive, if you don't care for yourself, there is nobody on this planet that's going to do it for you, because integration is very, for a lack of a better word, it is seductive because we are self-empowered, and everybody wants to be self-empowered. They want our energy. So if we don't know how to put our energy out there, if we don't know what we're working at, if we are not accepting guidance, we are clueless. And then we are not taking care of ourselves. We're not taking care of everybody else either, but we are, using this caring for oneself completely incorrectly. And what do I mean by that? So in my experience, I used coping mechanisms like alcohol and food to try to, slow this frequency down. And I thought I was caring for myself doing that, but I was actually very destructive to my physical body. So many of these people, again, have their thyroids removed because this energy is not being used correctly. Thank God. I thank the Lord. I thank, awareness, awakening, source, whatever you want to call it, that there are copious amounts of time that I did use my energy correctly and my thyroid was not damaged in the 35 years prior to knowing human design. So if you are not behaving correctly, if you are not individuating that way in which you were intended to, all of this pressure ultimately explodes the thyroid system. When in the not-self, instead of having a design of caring for oneself correctly, you care for oneself incorrectly, and this can be very devastating. So literally know yourself deeply and be able to utilize your energy through request. People have to request it. This is integration. This is integration. Loving what you do and doing what you love is the key to this channel, but generators and manifesting generators as a whole. So you guys have seen this slide before. So this is the power of the great. The 34 is that pure asexual gate out of the sacral. As power is ready for display and use from a place of response, the 34 speaks to survival itself. It is here to keep us alive and enhance our survival as individuals. The power to be independent and the energy of conviction. It is the power of the great which determines whether individuation can be maintained. So the power of this gate provides energy to 3 different channels. It's an enormous resource. So we have power, we have exploration, we have charisma. So, the power is about survival. Exploration is about centering self. And then charisma is about the action for individuation. So if this is connected to integration, this power is not available to others. The focus is on survival, self-empowerment. If it is if it is connected to centering, it is to empower others to love themselves and to respond to life. This is the gate of individuation. This leads to the potential for uniqueness. And it is the power that actually makes us. It empowers a unique awareness when connected to the 57. We are here to express this uniqueness. So again, you guys have heard my rendition of this in the 3457 and in the 3410. So the 34 in this power, it all starts off, and the whole thing is about using this power. There's an indiscriminate use of the power. Then there's a momentum in this power, and then there's the indiscriminate display of this power. And then ultimately we triumph. And then there's this annihilation. So we are going to eliminate resistance. And then the whole point of this is to come to common sense. How are we best going to use this energy? And it must be for the common good. Even though this is all about self. This is all about your, individuated power to stay alive, to be charismatic, to be integrated, to be centered. It has to serve the common good, because if not, it is very, very destructive. If we just take a look out into our world in this 2020 energy that we are in when I am recording this video, there are a lot of very, very, very wealthy people that have never, ever, ever used their power, for the common good. It has always been about this valuation system that we call money and, sucking the life out of everybody else. There's been no common sense in any of it. And of course, that is just my view of it. Then we have the 20. So something I did not add when I did the 5720 is this hexagram, and looking at this hexagram. This is what we actually call the Li in human design and in the I Ching. So this is the gateway to finding the way in the now. So what's fun is that in Chinese meditation places, meditation centers, meditation parks, all that, there'll just be these gateways that are there. They, they're painted beautifully. They, they're aesthetically beautiful. And these are the gateways to absolute contemplation in the now. So the 20 really is about this gate of individualism, a design of caring for oneself or not. And the or not doesn't mean that they are caring for anyone else. It means that there's a lack of self-interest. So if we look at the caring aspect of this gate appears to not be concerned about others. There's a tremendous amount of guilt that comes with this gate because we are individuated. We are self-centered, self-absorbed. We are in this process of integrated higher knowing, higher self, higher principles. And it's difficult for people to accept that. And we can feel very guilty about that energy because it feels very cold. So I want you to know that it is a mechanic. It's a mechanical energy here. That, it's about caring for oneself. That's it. Knowing your verbal communication, your verbal expression. Being in the now, this is the most existential gate. And when we talk about the 3420, there's a channeler strength here. We can literally channel and just be if we can allow that to happen. This is manifestation of clarity or not through the 57. But here when we're talking about the 34, this is literally the manifestation of action. So I am in action now or not. I know. This gate will constantly say, I know. Or I don't know. Says that as well. It's very existential. This is contemplation. It's integrated action. There's decisiveness or indecisiveness here in the action. That's why it is so important for the 3420 to have a guide. If you can find a clean 4323, somebody that, is more than happy to let you be yourself and just show up for you, that's gorgeous. I don't know how I bumped into, well, I do know exactly. I know the exact way that my husband and I met. And we met correct. Again, not knowing anything about human design. This was in 1992. And he initiated the whole thing. I responded. And it was absolutely perfect. And his manifestor energy with his 4323, he has never, ever, ever second guessed my busyness. He always wonders, like, what are you doing in your office? But he's never second guessed it. He's never said no to me as I learn and I contemplate and I be myself. It's amazing how when we can literally get out of the way. And at that point, I was very young. I was only 16 years old. But I had surrendered. It's so weird. I had literally, removed myself from going out with friends. I had just dived right into my studies. I was only in grade 11. And I don't know if that means anything to anybody. I'm from Canada, so I had literally removed myself from distraction and kind of just surrendered. And when I did that, the night we met, I was at a friend's house and my physical body literally got up from the table and said, like, I gotta go. I have no idea why, but I just gotta move. And I did. And I walked out into the street and there he was. And he offered to give me a ride home. And just having his frequency with my design allows me to be more efficient. I love it. I totally love it. So the 20, I've walked through this before as well. The 20 is going to be, at its core, it's going to be very superficial. And it has to be superficial because individuality, self-integration here, it's not looking for interference from other people. It really is the acceptance of, being the conduit, being in the now. So it feels very shallow, but it really is allowing for that conduit to happen through us. The dogmatist, this, restrictive, intentionally limited understanding, or restrictive awareness in the now. These are the people in now, but they are projecting out in the now in a narrow field. And that's okay. It's how you're designed to operate. And then the self-awareness. Being able to literally watch the Meatsuit tread on this planet. And we're going to talk about that when we get into the channel of awakening. And again, you guys have seen the 10th gate in other videos. This is treading. This is like literally putting one foot in front of the other on planet Earth and treading on this planet. And contemplation allows us to be in the now. And then how do we apply all of this existential information and really be real about it? Meaning, we're in an illusion. And yet, it's real. So how do we use ourselves and that conduit that we are to be in that contemplative now and to actually utilize it? And of course, there's no guarantee of success just because we're this conduit, but we will be correct. And then Ra talks about this 20.6 all the time. Wisdom. Wisdom, 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 wisdom. How do we apply all of this contemplation and understanding? You know, can we actually apply it in our lives? So I would love to hear what you guys are feeling and sensing and experiencing with this energy. You know, I've given you lots of stories here because this is a very, very profound energy field for me. So play around with it. Again, this is about the application. So I could give you all the mechanics all day long. How is it showing up for you? I showed you and shared with you, how it shows up for me. All right, till next time.